how to pick the right tattoo artist. You get the cheapest. No, you don't do that. But you also don't get the most expensive, because that doesn't always mean you're getting the most value. In this video, I'm going to share with you the most effective way to pick the right tattoo artist for you. Now, depending on whatever state you're in, there may be licensing. Now, a piece about that. Just because a tattoo artist is licensed doesn't mean they're like above board on the professionalism. And this is what I mean. In some states, all you got to do is do a bloodborne pathogens course and fill out an application. It's not a lot. But I will say, make sure that they've at least done that one step. Now, there are some states that have no licensure, so you have the powerful Google or Yelp to be able to give you more advice on the better reviewed artists. Google is the new word of mouth, and going through and checking out individual artists and studios' reviews are obviously a really good way to determine if they have people willing to say that they like them. So that would be a great first step. Next thing, you want to look at their work, obviously, and with the social media being inundated with all the different tattoos, looking at something online and looking at somebody's Instagram profile or TikTok or whatever doesn't mean you're looking at their work. I hate to say it, that there are unfortunately a lot of tattoo artists or fake artists that take other people's artwork and use it on their portfolio. So a great way to avoid that hurdle is to see the tattoo artist's artwork in real life. Hang out with somebody who's got some work by them. Look at the tattoo up close and personal and touch the tattoo, and not in an inappropriate way, but just to ensure that there's not a bunch of scarring, that it's nice and smooth, that it healed well. And then also ask that person how they felt about the artist in the situation. I have met some people who have some amazing looking tattoos, but they hate the tattoo because the tattoo artist made it a very unenjoyable experience. Once you've found somebody that's got the basic licensure, they've got positive reviews, you've seen some work that they've done on other people, set up a consultation. This is your time to go and meet them in person. And when you first walk into their studio or their shop, that you can get some immediate cues. Is it clean? Is it professional? Does it smell good? Does it smell like a stale cigarette and a fart? Or does it smell like disinfectants and maybe even bleach? Does it look clean? Is it clutter-free? There's some artists that can do a real good job of having that cool artsy clutter feel, but it still can be clean. You want to ensure that there's not a lot of porous surfaces. And porous surfaces are like carpet or curtains or velvet couches, because those have the ability to absorb bacteria and you can't disinfect those. So if an artist has a studio with a bunch of porous fabric in their studio, that means that they haven't done that basics of cross-contamination prevention, which is always a scary thing when they're going to be stabbing you repeatedly. So you've walked into the studio, but it feels good. Now it's time to talk to that artist. Now, you don't have to make sure that they're in like a lab coat and look super uptight. Tattoo artists are cool. We can have a cool look to us, but we can also be mindful of our hygiene. It doesn't matter if an artist has dreads and likes to wear rock t-shirts, but is it clean? Do they smell like patchouli and BO, stinky feet, right? Or do they have a clean appearance, clean hands, clean fingernails? Like, these things are important, because who knows, during the process, you may accidentally bump your fresh flesh wound against their clothing. And if they got some sort of weird flesh-eating bacteria under their fingernails or on their clothing, you don't want that on you. So you've met the artist and they look presentable to you. That's important. Now, this is your opportunity to share with this artist your desired tattoo. Now, hopefully you've done the research and they do the style of artwork you like, so it's already something that they're willing to do or capable of doing. But a real good way is to make sure they're listening to you. As I've said before, we have one mouth and two ears, and we need to listen twice as much as we talk. So we need to hear, as tattoo artists, what you want to get done. So make sure that the tattoo artist is listening to your ideas and talking about your concepts and assuaging your concerns and discussing how it will look on your body's physiology, how that subject matter will match the design you want, how the combination will look good on your skin tone. Like, you want to make sure that they're listening and talking about the things that you want to discuss and not just telling you what you're going to get done. That just means that it's a one-sided journey, and I'm imagining that you want to get something of your own choice on your body. And then again, you've hopefully ensured that they can do that style of artwork, but make sure they're competent in it and they share the steps and their abilities, that they give you a breakdown of what they're going to be doing to assuage any concerns that you may have. Now, you may just totally trust this artist, and that's great, but if you do feel any sort of concerns, you should be able to ask these tattoo artists anything, and they should be transparent about it. And it's not just about the tattoo work. You could even ask them, like, about if they may or may not have a license, or Do they reuse their tubes? Do they buy brand new needles? Do they use hospital grade disinfectant in their sanitization process? Do they use an autoclave in their sterilization process? Like, these are questions that you should be able to ask, and they should be forthright with that information. They should not be shady about it or change the topic. And then finally, when it comes to pricing, as I joked at the beginning about get the cheapest tattoo, because that statement of good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos aren't good, there's some truth to that for sure, right? As tattoo artists, we got to pay bills. And if we don't tattoo, we don't eat. So it's important that you're not trying to get something for the best bargain, but you also don't want to get robbed. So it's okay to ask an artist if they charge an hourly rate when they actually charge. Is it from the minute you walk in the door? Do they take money for the design? Do they only charge you when they're tattooing you? Do they have a set price? And it's okay. Again, these are the things you should be able to ask the artist, and they should be transparent with you about it and not be dodgy when it comes to pricing. So that way you're feeling confident that you found an artist that has gone through the basics of cross-contamination prevention. They've had people out there that are willing to put out positive reviews and show you some of their artwork and talk about a good experience, that their shop and their studio is clean, it smells good, it's non-porous, and it's a place that you feel safe in getting a flesh wound. They themselves are presentable and clean, professional. They are listening to you. They're competent and confident in their abilities to do the artwork that you want. And they're also very transparent about any sterilization, sanitization, or pricing information you may have. Hopefully you found some value in this. And if you've had any experiences that counter it, please let me know. Or if you have some more ideas, I'd love to hear those too. Leave those in the comments below. And I thank you for your time.